onions and garlic. Well, trees, they don't really need any effort. It is definitely the afternoon. As you can see from the skies, it is November. It's not warm, but there are things that you can plant, and if you stay tuned you'll find out what they are. There's a little clue there actually, because I'm going to plant some of them. Anyway, on to what I've got. So I've been on to Mr. Fothergill, and he's sent me some of what I asked for. So I've ordered onions and garlic. What I like about planting onions and garlic is that they don't really need any effort. So I'll pop these in 2 rows. I've got 2 types of onion, a red onion called Electric and a white onion called Radar. Now, I am not the most organised of people, and the reason that I chose these 2 was because they were about the only onions that I could still get hold of. So I've no idea if they're good onions or not. Nevertheless, I also don't know what onions I'm buying when I go to the supermarket. So onions is onions, alright? Eggs is eggs. I get my eggs is eggs from there. Eggs is eggs, onions is onions. The other thing I'm going to do is plant some garlic. Now this is a... what is it called? Oh, the label will tell me. Provence something. Provence white. Right, so this is garlic. So what we do is we break those up into cloves, stick them in the ground. The garlic needs to go in probably 1 inch below the ground, maybe 4 to 6. It's quite a big garlic, so probably 6 inches apart, maybe a bit more. That might not be enough. Whereas the onions can go in, 2 or 3 inches apart, and probably close to 3. And the tips of the onion just want to be poking out the ground. So that's how we'll get them in. The other thing I'm going to do, which I haven't tried before, is planting some horse chestnut trees. So these are conkers that the kids have picked up. And what I like about picking seeds up, which is really what these are, off the ground in your area, is that tree is already growing in your area. So it's a good sign that it's, right plant, right place. Alright, so this is the bed I'm going to put my onions and garlic in. Nothing grew in here last year. It's not good to repeat onions and garlic in the same place every year, so you would move the bed anyway. I don't know why that is. I suppose I could look it up, never bothered. I'm going to grow them in here anyway. Up this plank here like that, I'm going to go all the way up one side, all the way down the other. And then I'll flip the plank twice to leave a gap, and I'll do 2 rows of red onions. And then the same with the garlic, but the garlic will need a lot more spacing. Might only just get 1 row of garlic in up there. So that's about 35 or 40 onions gone in. You can just about see 2 lines going all the way end to end. They're about 3.5 to 4 inches apart. So now the trick is to flip that once, give a space, and then flip it again. And what I'll do now is I'll do the same. I'll go up this side and I'll plant some red onions. Bingo, red onions, they are here. What I could do with is some kind of tripod, then I wouldn't have to open everything with one hand. Just let me use my teeth. There we go, right. So again, simple as peas, could not be simpler. Get your onion, that's the bottom, that's the top. Find where you want it to go. Bit of old crud there in the bed. Probably from an experiment with compostable bags or something. They don't work, by the way. Yeah, simply just push it in the ground, leave a little bit stuck up, poking out, which is, oh, bloody hell, I've lost the thing. Oh, there it is. Right, so that's that, simple as peas. So I'm going to repeat that all the way up there. Super duper, that's that done. Did that really quick. What I did was I crawled up here on my knees, both hands, boing, 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 all the way up. I didn't make that noise, but I'm sure if I had have done, it would have helped. Right, so now we're on the garlic. Oh, look at that. Oh, it smells so nice. What I need to do now, crack this open, break off some cloves and get this planted. Look at that clove. That is a big clove. I mean, I've not got a small thumb. That's a big clove. So we'll get some of these broken up. This is great. great, isn't it? Look at the size of these. Boom, they're all undone. What have we got? Probably about 20 there. So that might be enough to do 10 up and down. Let's pick this this one here. So this one here, that's the root, obviously, that's its head, but garlic needs to be about an inch under the ground. So I'm just going to splosh it in down there, and that's probably getting on for an inch, and I'm just going to cover that up. Right, so that's gone. So that is done. I've got this many left, so I couldn't squeeze them in. I probably could, but I've done this before where I've thought, I'll just pop them in, and I've ended up with too much, or what I've got has been too small. So I am not going to plant these, but they won't go to waste. I'm going to take them into the kitchen, and I'm going to eat them. So whilst I'm sat here enjoying my Happy Shopper salt and vinegar twirls, which I thoroughly recommend. No, I recommend. I was just thinking, please, if you're enjoying this, like the video. If you have got this far, then Jesus, you've got some patience. Right, so whilst I was eating my crisps, I've googled a little bit more about this. And there is a knack to this. So I did talk about earlier on how you have to float these to see, and you keep the ones that sink, because the ones that float have got air in them, which means they've been open to the elements and are probably not going to be viable seeds. So the thing is, I'm not going to be able to plant these out today as I planned, because you have to stratify them first. I think that's what the word they used, where you chuck them in the fridge for 3 months basically. I think that's to ensure that they actually get some cold. Oh, now we will still do the sinking test anyway, but I'll probably have to do it again when I get them out of the fridge, just to make sure that they're all still none of the ones that worked now are floating. There should also be a pipe on here running from that gutter into here, but I suspect it's in the bottom of there somewhere. Right, so let's get rid of any obvious ones. So if it floats, it's a goner. Right, quite a lot floating. That's disappointing, isn't it? Let's get rid of them. I suppose I should really put them on the compost. Knowing my luck, well, I've got them all wrong, and it's the ones that sink that you should get rid of. I'll end up with those chestnut trees growing in my compost. Right, I think I will chuck all that on the compost in a minute, but that looks like my lots, so that is my harvest. So these are my potential recruits, and these can go in the fridge in a Tupperware till February time, my birthday. Get them out on my birthday and plant them up. Can't remember were these, did I drop them or no, that was a goner. There we go. Right, all gone. So those are viable today at least. So I'll get a Tupperware, I'll stick them in the fridge, keep them cold for 3 months, and then that should kick them into life. Right, that's it. So to summarise this highly educational video, you want to be planting onions and garlic and as many trees as you can get your hands on. I'm sure if you've got any gaps in your hedge, now's a good time to do that as well. I planted about 300 hawthorn plants 18 months ago to create a new hedge, and this is the time of year to do it. You'll get much better results than I did, because I didn't plant them till about February time, and it got very hot and I had a lot of death in the border. But there you go. Happy planting. Crack on.